Durgesh, I have around 18 years of IT experience.
Okay.
And from last 10 years, I'm doing in manual testing, test data management. And now from Jan onwards, I located in a project where automation is required. Selenium is
Great.
Java, and that asked
18
about
years
some
of IT
framework like those
experience.
kind of things.
Okay.
So I
And from
want to
last
learn
10
the
years,
automation. That's why I joined this.
I'm doing
Durgesh,
in
you
manual
have become
testing, test data
once first
management.
projector, then
And now
Durgesh
from
17
Jan
years, 18
onwards,
years.
I
That's
located
so
in a
amazing,
project
and I'm
where
so feeling so
automation is
blessed
required.
of having been
Selenium
in
is
this series,
Java, and
attending
that
the demo.
18 years
So
of
much,
IT
so
experience.
much
Kind of
blessed.
thing.
Okay.
And
I
from
want to
last
learn
10
the
years,
These
automation.
are
That's
the
why I joined.
I'm doing
Durgesh,
in
you
manual
have become
testing,
the
test data
once first
management.
projector, then
And now
Durgesh
from
17
Jan
years, 18
onwards,
years.
I
That's
located
so
in a
amazing,
project
and I'm
where
so feeling so
automation is
blessed of
required.
having been in
Selenium
this
is
series.
Java, and
Attending
that
the demo.
18 years
So
of
much,
IT
so
experience.
much
Kind of
blessed.
thing.
Great.
And
I
from
want to
last
learn
10
the
How about
years,
other
automation.
things?
That's why I joined.
I'm doing
We have
in manual testing, test data management. And now from Jan onwards, I
that's
located
so
in a
amazing,
project
and I'm
where
so feeling so
automation is
blessed
required.
of having
Selenium
been
is
in this series.
Java, and
Attending
that
the demo.
18 years
So
of
much,
IT
so
experience.
much
Kind of
blessed.
thing.
Yeah.
And
I
from
want to
last
learn
10
the
How about
years,
other
automation.
things?
That's why I joined.
I'm doing in manual testing, test data management. And now from Jan onwards, I located in a project where automation is required. Selenium is Java, and that 18 years of IT experience. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I
from
want to
last
learn
10
the
years,
automation. That's why I joined.
I'm doing in manual testing, test data management. And now from Jan onwards, I located in a project where automation is required. Selenium is Java, and that 18 years of IT experience. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And from last 10 years, I'm doing in manual testing, test data management. And now from Jan onwards, I located in a project where automation is required. Selenium is Java, and that 18 years of IT
Yeah,
experience. Kind of thing.
I have
And
4 years
from
of
last 10
experience
years,
as a manual tester I am working.
testing, test data management. And now from Jan onwards,
I have
I located in a project where automation is required. Selenium is Java, and that 18 years of IT experience. Kind of thing.
I have 4
And
years
from
of
last 10
experience
years,
And
as a manual
software in the
tester I
same
am working.
experience, great guys. And
now
Cat
from Jan
joined from
onwards,
USA, have a lot of experience. Amira, manual tester, great, great guys, great. We have a lot of people coming from IT background. That's super amazing, guys. That's super, super amazing. We have the pros from all the continents of the across the globe. We have students, people who are attending the session across the globe. Last one person who can quickly introduce themselves. Last one person who would like to unmute, quickly introduce themselves. Yeah, yeah,
I'm having 18 years of work experience in the IT background, and especially I'm dealing with freelancing projects. So I just wanted to take your help to complete my freelancing project. That is what having 18 years of work experience in the IT background.
amazing, Krishna. 18 years, right, Krishna? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Freelancing project, yes.
18 years, great. We have another person, Mike from Philadelphia. He has over 25 years of experience in both manual and automation testing and all. But love to see other feedback and teaching styles. So eager to listen and learn more. 18 years, right? Great. Rashita based out of Canada from non-IT, from IT background. Sarita manual tester, what is an automation? So many seniors I have in the room. So many seniors I have in the room. Super great. So let me try. I mean, quickly dropping your info in the chat box. I'll look into it later. But the first question is what? Since everyone is doing manual testing, I will skip that part. What is automation testing? But why automation testing is gaining so much importance? I would like to spend some light on a couple of questions so that I'll get to know your answers, your feedback, because there are a lot of people who are from manual testing. So quickly drop in your answers, quickly unmute and tell why automation testing is gaining so much importance, especially in the year 2025. Can anyone say why automation testing is gaining so much importance in the year 2025? It's okay. Wrong answers are still allowed in the room. AI.
Okay. Limited budget and limited resources, and also there are places we don't have these huge projects to hire many people. So that is one aspect. The other aspect is we don't want to go into this manual testing because regression, those kind of process we have to automate. And other thing, yeah, go ahead.
It makes the job very easy in terms of efficiency or time saving, also in terms of budget, because we don't require much of human resources when it comes to automation. it's not completely that we do not require, but yes, to an extent we can make use Selenium. So, but yes,
Yeah, and I want to add one more point.
the
Because of
much
the
of
main task which we are
very
releasing products, right? And so for continuous integration and continuous development, I mean, we are doing it for the project.
Okay, okay. Great, great, great. Yeah, yeah.
Productivity,
Yeah, please go on, go on.
increase productivity and reduce dependency with executing the necessary scheduling earlier to reduce our time also.
Great, great, Pooja. Great, great. I got some super amazing answers. Yeah, Prashant and Anila, you can tell your answers.
Executing the necessary
Yeah, I got some super amazing answers from Krishna, especially Pooja, Rani. I got some super amazing answers. Anyone would like to drop in their points on why automation testing is important? Tell your answers. So saves time, saves money, and also I would like to add one more point that we most of the IT companies they feel that testing spending too much money on testing is a overburdening process. Why? Because if they want to spend money on development, they'll spend a splurge on development, but not on testing. But they want testing for every product, but they don't want to invest too much money on testing also. Got it? How many of you agree with me?
yeah.
So that's the thing why automation testing is phenomenal. And if you also see on saving time, how the life of a person who knows only manual versus life of a person who knows without automation and manual. So
Okay. I have a difference. I am here as sorry.
Sheila, tell me. Sheila, your voice is breaking. Could you talk?
I should be in every task as one room. It's a request. I
Okay, sorry.
because we have yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Bye.
No, no problem. Okay. So just a moment. Just a moment, wait. Okay. Yeah, so sorry guys, let's just continue. So, what is the difference between manual versus automation testing then? What is the difference between manual versus automation testing then? See, the life, as in, can anyone insight on this? When the person who is having completely manual knowledge versus the person who has bit of manual and automation knowledge, how would work-life balance would look like? Because we are all starting to automate things in order to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Yes or no? Hi Shivani. How many of you would infer something from this? You may share, please. Yeah, Prajakta, go ahead. Yeah, Krishna. Anyone?
Yeah, person who is having manual, he will be very confident on personal time as well as something matters. Like when he was making that scenario, writing the test cases, evaluating them, he will be like very confident about the functionality. And also the domain, whatever the domain he is handling, he will take automation. He will be like very strong on the technical expertise. For example, let's say for me, I'll write like one scenario for code I'm writing code. Okay, but automation expertise, he will be like writing. I mean, delivering the code. Some will be like only 4 to 5 lines, and some will be like just only 1 or 2 lines. So according to the technology, what technology will be very okay, and how comfortable, how confident we are in terms of technology, we will be like making the reasonable chunk of time for writing code or like checking the functionality. So if it is both manual and automation, he would be very strong on domain and the technology. So he will be able to like make comprehensive package for making the automation steps.
Okay, great.
And the person who know aware important, it will be easy to identify what test case will be best suit for the automation. And if they know the functionalities, they can easily identify the test case for the automation.
In
Yes.
pictures we can see as manual, like as I mentioned already, like it's time consuming, so you have to wait like different things could be checked as well. Whereas for the automation, test case that will be running and it will get automated and results will be faster. So it will be less time consuming if based on pictures we can see.
Yeah, yeah. Based on this image, not on general purpose. Yeah. See, I agree. I'll agree all with your point of manual testing is good. See, without manual testing, no automation testing is possible. Yeah, Jeffrey, go ahead. Yeah, Murtala, go ahead.
Actually, manual is a huge process. Based on my experience, I'm just telling. Automation, if you just sit and keep it aside, every release, I no need to do the manual. I just rerun the old test, and whatever the extra changes, just fix and send the report. So that's how the automation is more convenient comparing to manual.
Yes. It's more like when you're trying to run the smoke code, your scenario will absolutely work greatly. Just look
Yes,
at the
yes,
smoke code.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Durgesh. I hope you have answered. Great.
Again.
So, what are the advantages of running automation in your testing repository or testing test management or during your testing process? It's reliability. What do you mean by this reliability? It performs the same operation each and every time they have run, thereby eliminating any human error. That means what? If I ask you to make the same payment 100 times in the payment gateway, it will make the same payment 100 times, thereby eliminating some human error. What do you mean by some repeatability? Enabling the capability to test how the software reacts under repeated execution of same operations. Just now, what did I tell? I am supposed to make some 100 payments to the same account. By making 100 payments to the same account continuously, we can also test how the application is behaving under repeated conditions. Whether it is breaking, whether it is... Can you mute? And next thing is comprehensiveness. What I mean by comprehensiveness is provide the ability to build a suite of tests that covers each and every feature of your application. What do you mean by this? Means with the help of automation testing, we can cover the critical scenarios of each and every feature and each and every module, each and every feature of your application. Better quality software. See, this is one of the most eye-catching points that most of the project managers will have in look ahead. Ability to run more test cases in less time with reduced changes. These are always the enticing keywords for any project managers or any CEOs or any CTOs, because if you are able to run more test cases in less time with reduced change sizes, the budget will automatically shrink down. And the next thing is reusability. What do you mean by reusability? Enabling reusability of test cases to run on different versions of applications. So it's just like I want to run on the code on the previous commit ID. I want to run the smoke suit on the previous commit ID. I want to run the smoke suit on the current changes. I want to run the smoke suit on the code that has been approved 1 month back. So you can run the same smoke suit on different code versions and you can check how the application is behaving. So that you can have a quick analysis of how many issues have been fixed and how to start. So fast. Automated tools run significantly faster than the manual method because automation testing execution is something that finishes in a blink of an eye. The moment we go for a cup of coffee and come back, the whole test suite execution will be completed. So when we say that we are able to run more test cases in less time with reduced team size, means obviously the cost will be reduced. The cost bent on test, the testing team will be reduced gradually. That is what is happening here. I hope all the points are agreeable. Everyone is agreeing with the points. Any queries, any concerns with the points?
Agreed.
And also programmability. This is one of the rarest points that most of people won't take. How many of you have seen a login scenario? Everyone during the login scenario, everyone has the animation field, right? Like the login will come from top to bottom or from left to right, or it takes like a steering or a fadeaway scenario. You will see the login page coming, right? Yes or no?
Yes or no? Instead of putting it like a static screen, they'll add an animation, right? For the login screen to come from top to bottom or bottom to up, yeah, something like that. So, with the help of automation, what I found out in my real time scenario is that actually what is the SLA for that animation to be completed was was 2 seconds. But through automation that it has been 10one to be completed. So with the help of automation, we can bring out some hidden information from the application. Like in one of the applications, we have identified the session management is not just properly, whereas one of the project is done properly. Because when you are are opening multiple tabs, the automation is all about testing applications, different different applications into into different modules. So naturally what we do, we open multipleple tasks tasks with around the data. So what is happening here is the activities that have been done in one session, it is not properly reflected to the applicationation in another session. So there'shh So some tesing management what is happeninging scenarios when I'm running in a load of when I'mhhve 10 10 10 10 10 all the 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 what is happeninging, all the 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 Agreededed Agreeded Also we can also study how much time time it is taken for howmuch much those analysiss can be done only about about executing or regression tool about all about it's about applicationtion I hopepeve hopeh everyoneine
Yeah. Exactly,
See, since you know automation, since you are all automation engineers, don't create a messed of your test case. Always write the script which is needed as per your business, as per your product owner, as per the test case. Just click onto it. Don't't mess up the testest case. Since you know automation, don't put too much technicality in it. And avoid complex logic in your system. Make sure your code is readablebleable andable and understandableble to everyoneneeve       everble                                                            come out of the blue to understand people. We are all QA people. We should beve people. We shouldllveve veveve people. We shouldllvevee have a properreure people. We shouldllveveve have a proper readablebleableeable sourceceveveveveveveveveveveveve your 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 team memberss can understandstandandandandstandandstandandstandand what what have have what 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 have what people. what and  100% automation is moment is is never automation is with you youountdoation
How many of of agreeinging please please, pleaseth up, please 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 pleapeapeameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameameaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeameaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMeaMe
automation interviews, they're always asking you to test you and all. 100% automation is never ever possible here. Even if I say 100% automation, not possible, don't't believe me. Don't even say that in the interview. See, fourth step. When we started the session, we discussed movemententsents. Bewareurered of automationon what is the fundamentals of testing, what is regressionting, what is regressing, what is regret, if you are not able to understandnd or pursue what is this, then youcannot then youcannot then becomeing automation engineerarhhes there are some deadlinesnes, there are are some settle methods, there are 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 some are 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 you follow. If you are not able to follow has automation engineerar if you are not in line in with all the thingsgs then it is very difficaume then it very 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 right. If at the start of theh of the session, that is what what is the session, that is what the visual, right? Will have a great functionality, but but a automation automation tester willll will have great techno functionalal skills. So in orderre to have So So in orderationational skills, we have to to understand the testing processses, testing methodologieseses, testing methodologieses, how well well will fit into the testing strategyeses Correct me, Durgais, since we have have a lot of seniors in the room with 17,25 years 17 ++ plus years ofhf experience Harshita, Nandini, So, this is is one of one of the last This is is the lastth So by by saying thising this that, how many of you will agree agreeed't reality. Currently we are we are are seeing it from the time spent, if the number of manpowerr spent, if the team's of manual work is adding, normally Howmany if you if you agree with
project so that I can release an efficient product. In the process of it, we are adding more man hoursrs to the project and all that stuff. Whereas if you start including automation in the picture, the budget will be optimum and all the recurring activities, repetitive activities will be sent to automation and the creative work will be taken care by the manual testing. Got it? Good to go? With this, let us jump into the content that we are discussing. See, we have, as an introductiontion, we have seen what is automation, why automation. We have tried to understand features of loop. That was the first foundation we have to discuss on this. Now, what are the things that we are covering?g? What are the things that are essential for you to become a pro pro a pro pro prof The first step is Java. What are the different fundamentals of Java? we are covering it right now. So we are covering the first basic fundamentalss of basic fundamentalss of basic fundamentalss of string functionsस, string builderrr ersds, and string builderr rs, the conditionalal statementss, loopingal statementss, whilele                       >    > >  >  > > > > > > > > > >> >> > > > Selenium, followed by we'll be highlighting more about this arrays and collection because withoutt arrays and collection because without arrays, list, set, map, dequeue, sequence collection. Sequence collection will be somethinging new 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 in the JDKs 21ty will be seeinging more about queues and morell we'llllllllll will also be more about queues and more about queues and more about functionsons with respect to collections and how Java has evolved from the 1.8 to 1.20. And we will be covering different topics about inheritance, interfaces, what are the basic fundamentals of inheritance, what is a super keyword what are the personal funds of interface, what is an abstract class, what is the use of super keyword and constructors, what are the different types of construtures, different types of abstractions, different types of interfaces, realistic examples that would lead to strategy design pattern, web secade design pattern, how the strategy design pattern has been built based on inheritance, everyone will be beingn all those things. then followed by the the most thought topic that is lambda Lambda streams and these days gone are the days where we try to traditional old code only for every scenario. Now these days we have to use some Lambda, Stream, Lombard expressions in order to boilerate production. These are here to maximize the efficiency of your code, reduce the redundancy of your code, and we will be discussing about the different file operations. How do we write the data to the file, reading the file from one location to another location, what are the different file functions, what is string string reader, what is string string writer, data input string. Data input string will be seen all thetleerent file operations and we will also lay downnnte out when to use what because not all the file operations are used for all the scenarios. For different scenarios, how will you use it so that you will be in a position to really think about yourself when you're're're performing some activity will be in a position to understanding by yourself that okay these are the things that actually have to do. Not all the file operations are necessary for different file operations. Then exception handling. This is one of most important topics when it comes to frameworks and designing. The try-catch block, the finary block, the multiple cache block's, the multiple versus exception, compile time versus runtime exception, handling the errors at runtime. So all these things you need to handle. And with the help of exception handling how do we use exception handlingng We'll be discussing all these things We have super amazing JavaScript that is currently. And also we'll be covering some super advanced concepts about core Java that is optional record concepts. We'll be giving you some programming versions perspective because these days when you go for any automation interviews, they're askingly more about scenario based related to Java, related to related to Selenium, programming gain confidence on each and every fundamentals of Java. We'll be
Any doubt so far in the Java context? Any doubts? Anyone? Anyone in the room has any queries on Java? Yeah,
whether
that
it's
is what. That is what. Every suppose if you have a Spring concept, there will be a separate quick questionnaire of 20 to 30 questions will be given to you to test on the Spring concept. Like how confident are you on your Spring concept? They will when you go for constructor and init Spring, they will be giving you some scenario-based questions to practice. So in that scenario, how will you come up with a design strategy? That came like the facade pattern, the strategy design pattern, how it came. And from that design patterns, I will be giving you a couple of scenarios. And each of them are going to be filled up based on the discussion in the class. Got it, Gurjesh?
yes, yes.
I'll be showing you what kind of assignments we will give and all the stuff later. But as for the
Okay.
Java content, I hope everyone is okay. Everyone is on the same page. 34 people in the room. Give me a thumbs up if you are all okay, or you can type it in the chat box. Yeah, Prajakta.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Quickly type in your answers in the chat box if you are all on the same page. And if you feel like some Java topics or something like we need to know, if you feel like you can actually let me know. But I feel that these are the core Java concepts that are more as essential for Java automation testing. Because core Java is a portion and we are covering only 20% of core Java concepts. That is more than sufficient for as a automation testing.
Are you covering both concepts as well? I mean,
Yes, Durgesh, without these concepts the Java is not completed. That is where I said about inheritance, interfaces, method concepts, abstraction. You heard me using the word?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, oops is eternal. The thing with oops is gone are the days when you where you need to say theoretically about oops. Explain oops in a practical way. You only yourself told them in a use case way. So that is why I covered all the use case, each of them a use case concept. So that you'll understand
Awesome.
it. See, our course is driven by use cases and practicality, no theory.
Okay.
And intro. So basic concepts, fundamentals of Selenium. So how do we set up a project? So let's have a quick understanding of what is Maven. How do we add like a dependency to the Maven project? What are the advantages of Maven? What is the concept of property profiles? Maven profiling, triggering test cases through Maven. What are the things about Maven? Then, before learning any automation tool, it's your job to understand what is the architecture of Selenium 3 versus Selenium 4. So we'll be discussing in detail what is the different architectures of Selenium 3 and 4 and what are the major things. Because this is a commonly asked interview question. Let it be from 5 plus years to 25 plus years. What are the difference between architectures of Selenium 3 and Selenium 4? And why are preferring Selenium 4 over 3? These are some questions that may be asked, and I would like to throw some insights on this. First, before learning any tool, let it be Playwright or let it be Cypress or any tool across the globe, understanding the architecture is the first major thing. Then we will be seeing how do we launch this in different browsers via Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, etc. Sarita, the course plan is already shared in the website. You can have a look at it. It's just a decorative format of the website. That's it. So actually, there are not one way. There are four different ways of launching a clone browser. There are four different ways of launching a Firefox browser, or four different ways of launching a Edge browser. There are four different ways of launching a Safari browser. You'll be seeing all the variations and you can consider which is your preference. Yeah, Jayashree, tell me.
Oh, sorry. When you say
Then, what is the other problem? The Windows system and handling. This is one of the key concepts when you're working with any application. How do you create a new tab? How do you create a new window? How do you launch multiple windows and tabs? How do you distribute windows and tabs? How do you launch tabs via the JavaScript, the older way? Because the problem here is Java has the advanced way of Windows system and handling. Whereas when you go for Python and C Hash, still they are relying on some JavaScript commands to switch between windows and tabs. So let me also quickly let you know so that if anyone asks you to the outdated way of launching a tab window, that will be more than useful for you. When you go for locators, what are the different locators that are running? ID name, class name, link, text, partial entry, tag name, whichever is highlighted in red color, that is of utmost importance.
like start and close procedure or the automation part, and followed by the advanced procedure. From Selenium 400, we have a new procedure, two above, two below, two right up, two left up, near. All these elements are located will be defined and in detail. Then I'll be going through different toggle actions like click, send keys via card, select, get text value multiple web elements, is displayed, is hidden, get status value, get tag name, get area role. Especially area role is creating more dominant because of accessibility testing. These days we have to do a lot of accessibility testing. So backslash get area role is coming in the picture and handling website rules. And we will also be seeing some different wait commands like implicit wait, explicit wait, fluent wait, and how do you prepare your own wait conditions, because sometimes we just rely on the predefined wait conditions, sometimes we want to have like to have our own wait conditions. So how do you write your own wait conditions so that you can have the complete control over the thing. And action flag. What are the different action that we can understand? So action flag is way different in Selenium 4.26, right? So you will see all the latest functions like click. I mean the old functions are click button, click pin, click select, click control drag and drop. All these functions will be along with that. In the latest version of Selenium, there are some couple of new functions that we would like to discuss on and throw some light on it. And JavaScript actions, like how do you highlight elements, how do you scroll down the page, clone the view, generate a list, how do you refresh the page, how do you enter the data, how do you enter the data, how do you click on it. So the common in W questions on a generalized basis, how many different ways can you click on an element? One is Selenium click, one is action click, one is JavaScript click. These are the three different ways where we can click on an element. Then, what are the different kinds of screenshots that we can have? Browser screenshot, element screenshot, capturing the screenshot using the A-shot library. Like there are some scenarios like I want to capture the screenshot of the whole browser while running. So using the DevTools protocol also we can see how do we capture the complete screenshot. And a multi-recurrence of video execution. This is completely optional, I would like to say, but still you guys want to see how do we record the execution, we can use multi-recurrence. And we can go for frame handling like py.id, py.send, py.id. So basically frames is used when you want to have some third party content in your website. That is where frames is used, and then we see how do you put it in the screen, the shadow frames and all this stuff. Because shadow frames is something most of the people are struggling these days to work on it. So we can guys check working in shadow frames. How do we upload and download the files? How do we handle the sliders that we have in Amazon site or anywhere? And how do we handle browser related pop-ups, the Chrome options, the desired capabilities, how do we kill existing browsers, and there are some browser authentications like when you have a pop-up, like you have to enter your username and password in this pop-up. How do you enter the username and password like via URL, via hash authentication library. Hash authentication library is the latest library in Selenium that is useful for authorizing your browser related pop-ups. Any queries, any concerns here in this Selenium format? The topics that we are going to cover.
Yeah, hi. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
At an individual level.
Yes.
So is this experience as good as an automation tester? I mean, Selenium automation tester who has about 2 to 3 years of experience, or maybe 1 to 2 years of experience into testing, right?
Yes. I mean, I would like to say that this code, whatever the contents I read, it can start from 2+ years of experience to anyone. Like we have a lot of people with high experience like 25 years, 20 years, 18 years. This course is designed for all kinds of categories. So total course duration is 45 to 50 days. We'll be covering all these topics in an integrated procedure. We are not gonna, I mean, we'll be showing you the individuality part and we'll be integrating them in different ways. Yeah, certainly.
I just want to understand when we create this Maven framework, like all that things we'll do based on like how we do in the real time, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
Because
yes.
I have a lot of confusion on when you create a framework, what needs to be placed,
I'll tell you.
be
To relieve that confusionsion, you just see it practically and you replicate the thingsing you'll definitely see it practically and you'll real timeely. Everything is real time, right?
Everything is practical that we are discussing. Yeah, Mariam, everything is practical that we are discussing. Everythinging is practical. There is no theory apart from today's session. From tomorroww onwards, everythinging is practical. The concept's is everything is practical. And do you have plan to cover any live projects or short projects or short projects or
No, no, during this training session,
Rajesh, you don't don't worry about any prior experience. Yeah. So So we'll be giving youu some frameworks hands-on will be like how do you upload for a Hybrid, like how do you upload for a Hybrid, like how do you upload for a Hybrid, different design different frameworks. So Ill be giving you some ideaon insight about how of an idea of what typees of frameworks you could look at and also will look at and also giving you some questions from 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 some website on the the website. And I will also automate it from frameworks and you have some questions I would like to askk youh. One point topic I would like to giveing you'll completed it. Right? Because my scenario question question not a theory study. Yeah, sorry again. Like I just want to understand like in testting we are we covering this just balance, testing, and I'm coming to testst engines section onlyw. So what
Do you also also teach Java coding? because in interviews they asked So there will be questions, coding questions
and
Like once those questions in the the session, or if you can't wait out till the nextt session, during the non-class availability. You can drop a message to me. I can answerr your questiontion. So what are the topics that we cover in test NG? How do we write it? What are the analysis and test engineers and the aggregations and the aggregations within test event studying, decorators, parallel testing, what are the different types of data providers that we can actually useing viaA XML, like we'll be using with SQL and with JSON, and then we'll be using listener. What are the different kinds of listener? What are the different kinds of listener? So there are are listeners, but predominantly I'll focus on I shoot listener, I ISO trailer event listener. These are some listeners I would like to focus more on the sessions because these are are something these are are something used and retry analzers'ses. These are some couple of 4 4 5 5 5 5 5 and you can also prepare your own customers customizely. Then we'll be covering some Cucumber concepts like creating elementsary files scenario outputting, data tables, preparing the scenario based on tasks, some quick examples, the Pico containers, Cucumber annotation, hookslashs, background, capturees, we'll be seeinging. Preeti, tellme. I hope I'm still
Then we'll be seeinging some JUnit, Cucumber with JUnit, how we can integrate just with one single manner rendering. Yeah, Preeti, tell me.
I'm trying to lower the hand, but I'm not worry. I'll do it for you.
what will be the approximate duration to complete this
See,
course?
our plan is to cover within 45 to 50 days. That is exactly 8 to 10 days because we are not covering on weekend basis.
Okay.
Let Steve has some solutions. Let him complete.
So what are the different concepts that we are covering with duration versus JUnit? How do you prepare a runner file using a JUnit? Because with one scripting library, we can generate a runner file using JUnit. And with one scripting library, we can say what are the different concepts for of testing JUnit and in the  .., � �how do you integrate extended codees to the runner file how do you generate tablees testting gatees testting gate page as as well as how do you generateate how do you generate failed scripting because this is the the need of our framework or any framework So when it it comes to API calls that we are focusing on? Put, post, get, and also what are the different concepts that we covering in this discussesed get like JSON basic, library, let how do we we build some robust robust      robust    aspsh REST audible, how we use basic and hunterust basic any JSON body validation, and also we'll be covering some Postman fundamentals on how do you you          prepare  15   15   fundamentalsal rules, how do you really using collections 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          es Postman fundamentals of how do you youprep how do you run the CI will also see some And 10 10                         stuff stuff the differenceence difference stuff because just   but in reality very few companies are usinging it. But just for the theory sake, but just for for the theory sake, but
for every module you have a separate test cases, separate under module you have a separate configuration and everything. Linear is something that everyone follows. When you are at the beginning stages of your Selenium, everyone follows a linear schema. Like you write your test cases, there is no structure, nothing. If the code that is not having any structure, that is called as a linear section. And is this clear with the test engine cucumber concept? As we all on the same page? With respect to Java, Selenium, TestNG cucumber, are we all on the same page?
Registration is also covered here, you need to.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
Rest assured is covered here. Why not? You'll see all the spec filters, query parameters, path parameters, and you'll also be seeing gateway expression, time permit is all are thinkingg some extra onee 1 orm also be thinkingg how it can easeagetion how it easeagetion how it easeagetion there's a lot we can discusss. And also, in addition to this, we'rell also be covering some basic concepts, some database concepts, some fundamentals of database. We'll be covering the CRUD operationses of database. We'll be covering the CRUD operations and how do we use some basic joins and how do we use some basic joins and how do we we usec connections. and we'll be seeing some Jenkins, and also I'm planning to cover Docker decisions, like how do you push the Docker images into the Docker imageses and how do you pull the Docker hub into your system and how we'll usecoveringgeses, how we use Jenkins and it's time permits. If time permits, everyone is interested, I would like to give a quick demo of how to use GitHub Actions also.
We need end-to-end, right? Till CI/CD pipeline, how we can
Yeah,
integrate
end-to-end
with
is
it.
covered is covered covered is part of the process. But if you want to really really see what is GitHub Action is at your level, GitHub Actions is something that is not implemented at your level. GitHub Actions is just like before merging the code into your main branch, you want to run a certain section and you want to run a certain section not distuff the code is not just to disturb. This might not, since of worry, but 5 plus or 10 10  plus years of experience, people with about 10 10 years of people who are here to manage the GitHub actions is manage
Correct.
If everyone is okay with it, then I'll try to spin the GitHub actions also. It doesn't take much time. I will only give you the YAML scripting and all. The YAML scripting will be used in your project also. most of the things. See, separate rest assured is see, rest assured is very important feem possible rest assured, but I'll try to fit in the main once for your your yourations for your AP automation because eitse what is the important thing for your building the API automation framework. Because recently I have got an opportunity to handle the API implementation. Yeah, I'll help you.
Help. Anyoneelse has any queries, guys?
Yeah, this is the demo expert. What would be the nextst step? How do we go about it?
Tomorrow onwards the actual secondly start where what are the tools to install, which tool is right, which tool is right. So tomorrow will be more of a tool has this and tool template.
Okay, gotcha. Nandini, Shivani, Rajesh, Sandhya.
Hello.
Yeah, Sandhya.
Sorry, I had some difficulty in joining the call. I just joined.
No worries, no worries. So you can go to the recording again, what we are discussing. Just I'll brief a few of your other things. We have discussed what is automation, what is automation, what is the purpose of automation, what are the content required to master automation, what are the content required to master automation skills. And Akash, don't worry about if you don't have basic knowledge of C. What I want you to have have some basic knowledge of Selenium. That is only related to Selenium. Have some basic understanding of what is testing, what is agile testing, what is smoke testing, what is regression testing. Have some testing terminologies right in your handle so that you can transition your people to the automation jargons as easily. You don't worry.
Sir, can you please quickly introduce yourself?
Sorry.
I don't know your name and and
Waitt,
where you are
waitt.
working.
I was more focused on reminding me that you have introducing myself. So this is Sai Rahul Palwai. Having over 8 years of experience in building automation testing completely 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 across two companies across two companies and currently I'm working with 10 to 12 projects primarily as automation tooling based company. The fast and project what we are using is
For all the major of the banking companies,
I am currently
Yeah, Network.
No, no, no. See, my place is not covered in the settings, but I would love to show you personally, in the middle of the settings, and I'll showcase you the dashboard because we are integrating some React subjects because no, IO money, I'll tell you one thingg. See regarding the payments and all the stuff I will share the number of Kumar Gupta. It will be the right person to assist you. I'm not the right payments to assistanceents to you. Let me share you Kumar Gupta sir number
Sir, are you taking Appian classes as well?
No, I'm not in Appian's because theing with Appian is the percentage percentages quite less, quite on a scale of 20 to 30%, 20% of companies are asking for Appian, and restst of them areaskinging for tagging Appian. But I would love to work with Appian because the thing with Appian is, it's almost similar to Selenium. Selenium management managementment but the UI inspectors are quite different.
Okay.
And also one more thingg we are planning to cover some playwright fundamentals with Java fundamentals like how to find the locationty using playwrightts, what's Selenium. What is worked? What is worked? Imagine. I want everyone to be in these places.
Sorry to interrupt Sir, actually is this a new batch or and the batch which is continuing from I don't knowwith because yesterday I did not attend the class, and today
Yesterday there was no session. Yesterday there was no session. Today is the first fresh presentation. I am so sorry. I mean, this is the meeting link I received for the demo.
register. Okay, okay. Because I have seen all new members here, and
Yes, yes,
no.
yes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the
No problem,
inconvenience.
no problem. But I just want to know whether I have to continue with this batch or
You can
let.
see, yes, yes. I will give you an honest opinion. If you want to continue in that, you can talk to Kumar sir and you can start from the batch. Or if you want to continue with this Abdul, then happily continue with Abdul. That is not a problem.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you are audible. My Wi-Fi is we have a power cut here recently.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem.
Yeah, yeah, you are audible.